Hey everyone, it's Kimberly from websfinest.com. I'm here today because I'm taking some fan questions and I'm going to answer them, let you guys get to know me a little better. So the first questions come from 1 Inch Thing. Thank you for your questions, hon. The first question is, do you like to read? And if so, who are your favorite authors? I do love to read. I'll be honest, I spend a lot of time doing other things, so most of my reading takes place on airplanes. It makes the time go by quickly and takes my mind off flying. I don't like flying. That's another tidbit. But I do enjoy reading Nicholas Sparks, actually. This is a book right here that I recently read. It's a tearjerker. And some of James Patterson's books. I'm not really into James Patterson, his Alex Cross books, but he's written some other books that were really good and I enjoyed. When I was younger, I used to love to read Dean Koontz. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him. He's like a suspense. Kind of like a Stephen King, but not quite. I used to read a lot of his books when I was growing up. So, the question is, what is the most horrible thing you have eaten? Wow. When I was in Cuba, I went to, I don't know if anyone has ever been to Cuba or not, but went to this Cuban restaurant. It was supposed to be like a 5-star Cuban restaurant. And I said I wanted something vegetarian. Well, the waiter showed me the list and he said, these are stuffed peppers. And they're filled with other vegetables and cheeses. He said, it's vegetarian, it's really good. I said, okay, well, I'll have that. Well, it came to the table and I started to eat it. And as soon as I put it in my mouth, I could tell it wasn't vegetarian. It was absolutely disgusting. So I asked the waiter and he goes, I don't know. So he went and asked the cook and the cook said, oh, well, I made something special for her. And he put some kind of weird fish in it. And it was absolutely disgusting. I thought I was going to be sick. So the next question is, what is the one thing you never leave home without? Well, I have to say, probably my cell phone. Now, I'm not a typical girl that's on the cell phone all the time, but I want to have it with me in case of emergencies. Next question is from 1 Inch Thing. He asked, do you like the Beatles, and if so, what is your favorite Beatles album? I do love the Beatles. I have to say, I do not have a favorite album. I don't own any other albums. I've just downloaded some of their songs and, growing up listening to it. My favorite Beatles song is Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. And yes, I do realize it's about drugs. So next we're going to move on to questions from Jazz. His first question is, did you ever get to meet Mr. Hugh Hefner at the mansion? Yes, I met him 3 times. His next question is, did you see any movie stars, singers, sports players while at the Playboy Mansion? And the answer is yes. There's always lots of celebrities at the Playboy Mansion. I'm trying to think who's Paris Hilton, Terrence Howard, Amanda Bynes. It's always crawling with celebrities and athletes. Next question is, do you like wearing thongs, G-strings, or boy shorts? My answer is, it depends on the situation and what I'm wearing. Boy shorts are the most comfortable, but I don't like wearing boy shorts under clothing. So I wear boy shorts a lot of times to bed if I'm not sleeping naked, or I go around my house in boy shorts. I like thongs and G-strings for everyday wear. Next question is, how long have you been at Web's Finest? 4.5 years. You guys believe I've been around that long? It'll be 5 years next May. What do you look for in a guy? Well, it's going to make me sound really picky. I'm not necessarily picky, but when you ask that question, I like men who are taller than 6 foot tall, because I like wearing heels. I'm 5'6", so if I'm in 4-inch heels, that makes me 5'10". So I at least like a guy who is going to be my height or taller when I'm in heels. They have to have good teeth. Absolutely no compromise on that. You have to have nice teeth. Good hygiene. I like guys that have nice hair. I like hair something to hang on to. I'm not necessarily a fan of muscular guys, but I want someone who takes care of themselves. You have to be intelligent. I don't want a guy who I feel like I can't have an intelligent conversation with. I prefer someone who has ambitions. I'm not asking for someone who has a really good job, but I want someone who wants to have a good job, who wants to have a career. You must love animals. That's an absolute must. If you don't love animals, there's no point in even talking to me. So I think that's probably about everything. I'll tell you who I think is the ideal man, physical-wise, is Tom Brady. I'm in love with Tom Brady. What kind of music do you listen to? Well, I listen to a little bit of everything, to be honest with you. My musical range goes from house music, electronic music, all the way to, well, we talked about the Beatles. I love Andre Bocelli. I love Josh Groban, John Mayer, Rain Maida, who anyone knows who he is. He's from Canada. Our Lady Peace, Chantal Kreviatsik. I'm not really a huge fan of country. Actually, I'm not a fan of country at all. I'm not really a fan of hip-hop. But everything in between, I listen to. Okay, next questions come from Will Looking. His question is, did you have a favorite Wooby? And that's a favorite stuffed animal or blanket type thing growing up. Actually, I did not. I didn't have a blankie. I didn't have a favorite stuffed animal. I don't know, does that make me odd? Maybe it does. Next questions come from video support. First question is, what kind of team were you in high school? Well, I was popular crowd. We don't have really cheerleaders in Canada, so I guess if I lived in the States I would have been a cheerleader, but since we didn't have them. But I was also on student council. I also played basketball. I played soccer. I had straight A's, so I was in a little bit of everything. I also was into drama, so doing plays and things. So I guess you could say I was a little bit of everything. Do you have any pet peeves? Oh my gosh. I have so many pet peeves. Let's get this. First thing is I hate red trucks. I think red trucks are ugly. I think red is a sports car color. Don't drive a red pickup truck. Socks with sandals. That's awful. Awful, awful. I don't like people who refuse to alter their animals, especially men who say, oh, it's a man thing, I can't neuter my dog. What a back-ass way of looking at things. That's what I say. Next question is, what nicknames did you have when you were growing up? Well, I had the nickname as Lizard, because I have an insanely long tongue. And Monkey, because I was a gymnast, so I was kind of like, like a monkey swinging around all the time. Next question is, how did you get into animal rescue? Well, I grew up on a farm, a very large farm. We had a lot of animals. We did animal rescue, so I kind of learned to appreciate animals very early. And my family was very against breeding, so it's kind of the way I was raised, I guess you could say. So then when I finally moved out on my own and got my own house, I decided I wanted to start doing it myself. So that's how that came about. Next questions are from Tom. His first question is, what do you enjoy most about the business? Besides being part of Web's Finest, of course. I love working my own hours. I love being able to work whenever I want. And I also love being able to work from wherever I want. I can work from home. I can go see my best friend. I can work from her house. I can work on vacation. That's what I love. And I've made a lot of very, very good friends since I've started camming. His next question is, and what do you find most frustrating about? Well, I hate the people who like to waste my time. I don't understand why they get off on it, but what's the point? And I also hate the people who come in and try to reform you, like there's something wrong with me. No, it's not going to work. You can't come in and tell me that you're going to help me find God, because I don't believe there's a God, so it's not going to work. From Real French Kiss. His first question is, what did you want to be when you were a little girl? Well, doesn't every little girl want to be famous? When I was little, I really, really wanted to be a supermodel. Isn't that silly? I modeled when I was really young, so I also thought it would be cool to be a professional figure skater. I did figure skating for a little bit, but nothing ever came of it. What's the craziest thing a fan did for you? Well, this is kind of creepy. But I had a fan who created an entire site without my permission dedicated to me. He literally had every video that I had ever done, every picture I had ever posted online on this site. It was really creepy. I had to get removed because I just didn't like it. It just creeped me out too much. Especially without my permission. So, next question is, how far do you think you'll go in the business? Well, he asked, modeling, dancing, making movies, erotic, or porn. I mean, I'll do some more modeling if it comes up. I'm not actively seeking modeling jobs, so who knows? Dancing, no, I'm not interested in being an exotic dancer. If I was, I wouldn't be camming, I would be doing that. Making movies, porn, no. Absolutely not. I'm not interested in it. It's not for me. I don't have a problem with it. But for me right now, it's not someplace I want to be, and I don't think I'll ever want to be there. So I want to thank everybody for your questions. I hope my answers were good and satisfactory enough. If you have any other questions, you can come talk to me. I'm more than happy to answer your questions. Just remember, don't waste my time.